Megan Fox has the story.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox. Megan Fox, a national journalist.
Mastodon. I will never be able to say that.
It feels like the Flintstones live there.
It does.
Well, don't trust women. I think you just touched on that with your last. That's what they brought. We're going to have to bring back chaperones.
Jesus, no.
Just careful, Carol. Stop! Break! Ooh. Hard right.
How did you screw up a stove, Megan? You're a woman. I thought that was baked into you, like at the genetic level, how to operate kitchen equipment.
And honestly, Megan, if you don't like it, I'm sorry. I've been very nice to you.
Look at Dino hanging out outside chewing on a large bone. I highly recommend being targeted by the New York Times and Rolling Stone for weight loss. And I'd say, keep it coming. I need to lose 20 more. Please, keep it coming.
Explain to me, Megan, why did this country not have a holiday once a year? That's the time you vote. If you don't show up and vote, up your ass. You don't get another chance. You don't get, I don't care if you're in the hospital. Crawl to the state, crawl there. But that's it, 1 day, 12 hours, and then you're done. And you count them that day, and that night you know who the hell won.
I will eat you alive. You want to tangle? You want to go?
The only thing going through my head is, what are you going to do when Megan Fox runs wild on you, brother?
He made a deal with the devil. She's the devil.
He wants that.
Oh, God.
Gross! Oh! All right, penalty box for Slug. Yep.
Of a mile.
Are you ready to behave yourself now, Slug?
This frustrating rep.
Are you ready to behave yourself? Repossessed puppies? I'm hiding pork chop! ASAP! Have you seen his little pork chop? Oh my god, pork chop is the cutest.
That sounds bad.
Have you seen it?
Pork is pork!
Though you may be tempted, do not contact any person or persons mentioned on this stream. Do not even think about contacting anyone who may be the topic of the daily news. If you should do that, the host will question your IQ, possibly call you names, and mock you for disobeying these basic rules of decency.
All the best!
And welcome back to the show. I am here. I said I would be here, and I am here. You all are making me do this. Yesterday, you hit the super chat goal, and I said if you hit them, we would be here to cover this terrible trial. Luckily, I had to take a child to the urgent care. I never thought there'd be a day where I'd be like, thank God I have to take someone to the doctor so I don't have to do this live. Because my God, it might be that the Lori Daybell trial might be the most unsatisfying, most boring trial on earth, but you all made me do this. You made me, we're here because you said so. And you didn't just take your out when you could have gotten it. You didn't take the out. You didn't say, you know what? This trial sucks and we should move on to something interesting. No. You made me, you made me do this. This is your fault. It was not hangry. I actually had to take Sun, our exchange student, she's from Korea. I had to take her because she's had a really long lasting cough for a long time. It's been weird too, because she's been fine other than this cough that just won't go away. So they're trying the bronchitis take, trying the heavy medicine now. Anyway, this is all your fault. It's all your fault that we're here, chat. And you are going victim blaming. Yamaha biker. Hope all is well, Megan. I cannot apologize for last night, as that would require remorse. Yamaha, I literally was physically injured trying to hang on to my laughter during that reading when you sounded like Paul Lind. Good Lord, that's a hilarious voice. You should do something with that. And I think that should be your new BBB voice. Those of you who missed it, Shizzy Wiznut last night his live last night. There was a moment when Yamaha Biker joins the stream and he gets tired of reading in his normal voice where he decides to go full-on flamboyant gay Paul Lynde, and it is amazing. I laughed so hard. And I couldn't laugh out loud because my poor husband was sleeping next to me and I was trying not to wake him up. Yes, blame Jeremy is correct. That is the correct answer. We are going to watch day 2, unfortunately, because you made me do this. And I'm running a poll right now asking if I set another super chat goal and I say, we'll only do this again if you hit it. Are you going to hit it? You're going to make me, right? And 54% of you said, hell yes, we're mean. So I'm not even sure what to do. I think I don't want to cover this trial anymore. It's so bad. You think it's going to get better, Silverleaf? Oh, I don't know. I'm going to set a super chat goal, but I don't know. I feel like this is dangerous. This is very dangerous. All right, we're going to make it harder this time because I feel like you guys, we're making it teal and higher. That means $5 and higher, and we'll set a ridiculous goal that you cannot meet. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. I will give you 2 hours to hit 50 super chats at $5 and higher, and I will cover day 3. Oh my God. I'm scared to do this. Of the worst trial ever. Oh, I'm going to regret this. I feel like I'm going to regret this. Hopefully you won't make it. That's a high goal. There's no way you're going to make that. You're not going to do this to me again, are you? Are you? I feel like you wouldn't do this to me again. All right. We do have a bingo card. It is pinned to the top of the chat. Rumble needs it. Rumble needs the bingo link. Where is the bingo link? Oh, shoot. Bingo card. There it is. Can I copy that from here? Copy link. Yes. All right. Rumble. Those of you in the Rumble ghetto, there's not even anyone here on Rumble. No one wants to watch this. No one wants to watch this trial. Like, it's just ridiculous. That did not work. Why didn't that work? Bingo Baker. Here we go. Copy link. Rumble. Here is the link in your chat. I don't know if I can pin it to the top, but there it is. It probably won't matter. Can I pin it? Yes, I can. All right. The bingo link is up, and here's what's on the bingo card for today. All right. We got Mormon gets offended. For sure, some Mormon in my chat is going to get offended. So that's probably going to happen, like, at any moment. We've got Shock Belt. Megan screams. Sidebar. Megan lectures Mormons for getting offended. We've got Demonstrative. We have Fairy Raid. We have Good Hair. Megan nopes out. Lori backtalks Judge. Chat fight. Lori testifies. And when I mean testifies, I don't mean she gets on the stand. I mean she testifies while she asks questions, because that's what she does. Free space, asked and answered. Prosecutor sighs. Bad hair. Megan cries. Office lookalike besides Angela. Chat inflicts pain on host. Lori cries. Lori asks stupid questions. Megan questions her life choices. Hangry raid, Megan sighs, and Judge admonishes Lori. So everybody get your bingo cards out. I think we can go ahead and cross off the free space and Megan questions her life choices, because I'm forcing myself to be here right now and wondering why I let you guys do this to me. Why do I let you do this to me? The Silver Leaf, thanks for the 2. I think that Square Bullet Point, I think this will get better. LOL. You know, you have high expectations. You really do. I don't think there's any way this gets any better. Hey, Joe, thanks for the 5. What? What? Caroline B, thanks for the 5. It's Square Bullet Point. It's both. Can't forget both. Challenge accepted, said Floofy Cat. Thanks for the 5. Sonny Chris with the huge hondo. Take my money. Jeff is making me do it. Jeff would totally make this happen just to torture me more. I hate this case. I hate this case. I thought it was going to be interesting because she's, representing herself, but it's not. It's so boring. This is not Darrell Brooks, let me tell you. There's no box forts. And she's just annoying AF. Caroline B, thanks for the 5. She challenged the chat again. I know this was bad. It's a bad idea. Kernak, thanks for the 5. The coverage will continue until morale improves. No, please make it stop. You guys don't understand. I really, really hate this case and I really don't want to cover it. I don't know why you're interested in this. I really don't. Horse Welfare, thanks for the 5. If you don't cover this trial, what will you live stream for us? Karen Reed, maybe? I mean, I don't know, something, anything. I should go back to the retro trial. I need to get caught up on that anyway. We'll go back to Jeff's trial that he wanted us to see and he didn't get to show all of us. But here we go. I found the place where we left off and this guy is on the stand and he's going to be on the stand for hours. I hate to tell you this, but he will be here for hours. But we are going to be able to speed it up. All right, here we go.
On the floor to the right, proceeded to the patient to start an assessment and evaluation.
Volume.
And then Captain Keller had already come in.
I'm pretty confident, yes, he would have been quicker getting off the truck and inside.
And so you did your assessment and then what?
I'm turning my mic way down.
My assessment revealed that he was unresponsive, no pulse, no breathing. So I would have started CPR, started chest compressions.
All right, let's speed this up a little.
Did you do that with his shirt on?
I would have lifted that out of the way
we already
so I
hear
could find
this?
the proper landmarks.
No, we didn't. Okay. Too bad
So
we didn't
you
already
had
hear
said
this.
that you saw that there was 2 gunshot wounds. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then you saw that through the shirt? Or how did you assess that when you first entered? That's my question.
Once I'm doing CPR, I can see 2 bullet holes in the shirt. I can see that.
Oh, check off Lori asked stupid questions. Did she just ask, could you see the bullet wounds through the shirt? Oh, come on.
I've been doing chest compressions.
I'm checking off stupid questions.
And then he had on what color shirt?
I wouldn't have recalled other than, I guess, the video yesterday.
What color was the shirt?
Colored shirt, I think we saw on the screen.
And so
can we go faster than
you had
this?
talked yesterday about the blood being more blood on chest, not pooled around your knees, right? Is that correct?
Correct.
And so with the dark shirt, was it hard to see the blood? I'm kind of trying to see what you saw when you entered.
I remember seeing blood on the chest.
It was red.
I remember not seeing blood on the abdomen.
And there were holes in the shirt, 2 holes in the front side? I would, that's my call, yes. Okay. And when did you cut off the shirt and how does that procedure work? I continued doing CPR, chest compressions. One of my other colleagues would have cut that off, and knowing that the shirt maybe is potentially evidence, that's why I said to her, don't cut through where the holes are. So she could have cut down the side instead of on the top of the body. And do you use like a special scissors or something for that? Yeah, we have some trauma shears in our equipment. Okay. And who was that? Was that Phelps? Or? I believe that was firefighter Kaczynski. Okay. Kaczynski.
Yes, Flux, we did check off. I questioned my life choices.
On scene at that time. Firefighter Fife would have been there. Firefighter Kaczynski, the 3 of us, kind of like we saw in the video. Or
every
picture
second.
yesterday, all 3 of us around the patient.
I need my therapy.
Standing back a little bit, like you saw in the picture. Okay.
So wait, he ripped off his shirt?
What was that? For 12 years, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, you know what would make this trial better? If this guy got up and started stripping. That would make this trial so much better. Take it off.
Or 12
Just
years
kidding.
ago?
That was a joke.
Approximate dates, 2004 to 2016, let's say.
Okay. And so have you taught people who have never done CPR before?
Have I taught those? Yes.
Right. And not just like people renewing their certification, but both.
Correct.
Okay. How many people would you say that you've taught that have never done CPR before?
Never done CPR, and it's probably in the hundreds over that long of doing that.
So you'd be familiar with how a first timer would react?
Yeah, you try to forewarn them what to expect.
Okay. So these first timers, they have to be taught the appropriate place to place their hands. Would that be fair?
That is part of the course, yes.
And so do you show them or do you just tell them in class where to put their hands?
It's a video-based system through American Heart. There's a curriculum that we would have been following.
Okay.
Oh, I should be
So if
doing
you can only
Legos.
tell them like over the phone, that might be
I
difficult for them to
have
know the correct
sorting
placement of
hat
their
to
hands if they've
start.
never done it before.
I could.
I
I
guess
might
it
do
depends on the
that.
instructions that the dispatcher gave. Ultimately, if I was telling somebody over the phone, you want to put your hands on their chest, on the lower part of the chest. It's that kind of simple, so to speak.
Okay. But without the video, if you were teaching a class,
Not
and you
yet,
have the video,
Caroline.
might be
But
difficult,
it's
right?
coming.
For a bunch of first timers.
Objection, speculation.
Phrasing.
Phrasing.
Did me answer? Okay. Sorry. Can you repeat the question? Then?
Yeah, so it might be difficult. If you didn't have the video, it might be difficult, you know, for a bunch of first timers to know exactly what to do if you just had to tell them middle of the chest, lower chest.
I mean, you could obviously show on a person, you could show on yourself.
If you couldn't show them and you could only tell them, could it be difficult?
I suppose it's possible depending on the person.
Okay, that's fair. So do you think that your CPR class would be fairly successful if you had no visuals?
Objection, relevance, speculation.
I feel like my lighting is too bright.
I got it, Your Honor.
I feel overexposed.
So if a person had never done it before and was just told how to do it,
fix that.
is it possible that they might not be acquainted with
Jeez,
where
it's
to put their
almost
hands?
all the way down.
It's possible.
And it would also
Is
be
there
possible that
daylight
they might not
coming
do
in?
it properly.
That could be possible too.
And right now when you're teaching CPR, and I didn't say you are teaching right now, but if you're teaching a class, are they just doing percussions now? There's no breathing in the mouth. Is that correct?
It's going to depend on the level of the class. As far as the lay rescuer, people that have never done it before, that just want to have the training. It's evolved and we're teaching compression only. That is a form of CPR now also, just doing chest compressions.
And how long do you teach to do that for? How long of a period before you take a rest? Or
Well, it varies depending on if.
Why don't you just have him teach a class right now, Lori?
Guidelines that American Heart.
Can you
offers.
demonstrate that
So
for
in
us?
those courses, they're getting to learn information for adults and children and infants also.
Is she asking him to
Correct,
do CPR on her?
So for an adult, how long? Like 30, 100, 150? It's been a while.
Just
So
like if
just
you
wondering.
were to do
with an
CPR on
adult,
someone in the courtroom,
They're
who
also
would
taught they
you
need to call for
choose?
help right away also. So that's a factor.
Did
Are
I
they alone?
sigh?
Somebody
I
else to be able to
did.
Call? Can they call?
Check
put the
off
phone on
Megan's
speaker,
size.
Start, while talking to 911. And then they would just keep going until help arrives.
So there's no timing, like you take a 10-second break, you just do compressions?
Not for that type of level of CPR, there wasn't.
Okay. So it's helpful if you had someone there that you could like take turns, like I'll do 100 and then you do 100, because it's kind of exhausting, right?
Objection, compound question, relevance.
I'll sustain it as the compound question. You can re-ask the question. Ask it in a different way. Go ahead.
So
He doesn't even know what compound means.
how long did you administer the CPR before you did the flip over?
No, Eric,
How long
no
do you
one's
think that
into this. They're just,
Before we
the
rolled
chat's
him to
just
look at the
into
back of the
giving me
Correct.
pain.
Yes, that's correct.
I would estimate maybe up to a minute.
Okay.
They just want to
And then
hurt me.
were you counting compressions? Is that what you were doing during that time? Or do you not count? You just do it for a certain amount of time?
I don't recall if I was counting. I mean, I was doing the chest compressions while waiting for the rest of the team to arrive and for us to continue assessing, see if we were going to continue to work the patient and utilize more equipment.
And there were 3 of you there.
4 total, but 3 by the patient.
Okay. And then you could take turns, right? Like trade off if you needed to.
If we needed to, yes.
So that'd be a lot easier than when you're just there by yourself. Would you agree?
Yes.
And do you know how long?
So would your hands be more in my boobular area if you were to do CPR on me? Would
How
you?
long after the rolling over did you started doing compressions again? Is that
While
correct?
doing
Yes.
CPR, sir.
Yes, I believe so.
And how long did you do that for?
Been in a
I
fireman's
would
calendar.
estimate maybe upwards of another minute
So maybe 2 minutes total.
during that sequence, yes.
And was there another sequence?
At some point, we would have stopped doing chest compressions so we could evaluate the heart rhythm. That's on the heart monitor.
With the heart
And
monitor?
you can't be doing compressions to evaluate that.
Okay.
What song do you
And
hear in
then
your
you
head
didn't
when you're
continue
doing
compressions after the heart
CPR?
monitor at
Is
all?
it staying
When I recall, I
alive?
resumed again
Staying alive?
and
Which one is
brief
it?
discussion as far as what direction we were
Do
going
you
to go.
think I'm pretty?
And what were the results of the heart monitor?
There was no electrical activity.
And how long was the heart monitor applied compared to when you started the first compressions?
I'm not sure if I understand the question. Maybe you can reword it or.
Sure. How far into your treatment, I should say, did you guys stop and do the heart monitor?
I would estimate that the monitor probably was on within 2 minutes of making patient contact.
Okay. And how long does that take?
To do what? To put it on?
Well, yeah, to put it on, get a reading, and decide what you're going to do next.
It could take, you got to turn it on, open up a compartment to get the pads out of that compartment. You've got to open that packaging to be able to apply it to the patient's chest area. If the chest is wet, which there's some blood, you could dry that so it's going to adhere more properly, read more properly. So you could be looking at 30 seconds to a minute possibly of working through that.
Okay. And did you have to do that in this case is remove blood to stick them on?
I would assume so, but I was doing
God.
chest compressions, so that would have been one of the other 2 firefighters kind of working
You
through
have
that.
to remove blood. What? Fame. I'm gonna live forever.
So I
yeah, that's
understand
too slow.
correctly. Did you
You
said
need
when
that.
you rolled him over, did you cut the shirt in the back also to see
staying
the exit
alive.
wounds? Is that
Staying alive.
No, we only had to cut the shirt one time. That was when
I
he was still
think,
laying on his back. You cut it down
there's
the
a
side
Queen
and that
song that
opens
works
it up to where then
too.
you can remove it from the body, pull it off.
so you did pull it off completely at some point?
Which
More
one
than
is
likely,
it?
I would
Is
say
it-
yes. That's typically what we
No,
would
it's
do.
not We Will Rock You.
Okay.
That's too slow.
But you don't remember if you did that in this case?
I can't remember the
I know
other
that I
song
didn't do
people
that.
sing.
Because I was doing chest compression, so I would assume
Another
one of my
one bites the
colleagues
dust. Yeah,
did
that would work.
completely. That's
Another
typically
one
what we
bites
do.
the dust.
Okay. And so you're back to doing the compressions for the 3rd time, and then you stopped that at some point. Was there another procedure after that?
No, at that point in time is when we would have called the patient.
And who?
I prefer
announces
staying alive
that?
though for the positive
Ultimately, I remember
you know,
our captain,
message.
since he's in charge of the crew,
Staying
he's would be considered the lead medic. He has the most experience. He's also charting the call, kind of running it, kind of made that final decision.
And that would be Captain Keller. I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yes, correct.
And then he did
Whip
call
it.
at- do you know
Whip
what
it
time?
good.
It would have. I don't have it memorized. No, it would have been like in the charting that he was doing.
I'm sorry, we're not paying any attention
And
at
who
all.
documents that?
He would have
He
documented
would have
that.
done it.
Does Arizona have the death penalty? I don't think so. But she already has 2 life sentences. This whole
In preparation
trial
for
is
your testimony here
pointless.
Today, did you review the 911 call at all?
No, not in preparation for today. Not the actual audio. No,
Oh, they do.
no, not today. Not for this.
They've had
What did you
96
review for today?
executions since
I was
1912.
able to look
There are
at the,
currently 110
Incident
people on
times
death
were
row.
dispatched by Phoenix Fire Department. I was able to look at the paper documentation. I was able to see my testimony from Idaho. I was able to see my testimony with Chandler PD when they came to the fire station a couple of weeks after this incident.
And what paper documentation did you actually take a look at?
It would have been the chart that Captain Keller documented.
Well, obviously guilty. That's what makes this trial so awful.
And what does that chart
It's
consist of?
pointless. She's already serving
there
2
would
life
be
sentences. Like, just call it a
sometimes,
day.
You know,
Just
date, time,
slam the
address,
gavel.
patient
Let's have the
information,
guilty
name,
verdict and move on with our
address,
lives.
maybe medical history, things that we, a narrative of what we discovered, what we've done, treatments that we've done. The heart rhythm from the monitor gets attached to it.
So that would all be in Captain Keller's report?
Correct.
And you did take a look at that for
Thank you,
preparation
Kurt.
for today?
I appreciate
Yes.
your sympathy.
And did you write a report regarding this incident?
I don't think the
No.
chant's going to make the goal today. I will
You don't have
not
to
have to do
document
it tomorrow.
Just one person documents.
No
it.
way.
So for all of the people that were there from fire?
Correct.
Okay. So that's the total report. You just give your input to him and he puts it into the report?
Correct.
And that's the same for the other 2 firefighters that were along with you?
That's correct.
The feed is
So they'll
delayed
have their own individual
or
reports as well?
because the judge is worried that there
And-
will be stuff that's protected that will get out, like addresses, phone numbers.
What
That's
time were you dismissed from the scene?
we're behind because I was
Mm,
late
I
because I
mean,
had the urgent care thing.
We probably only remained an additional 5 to 10 minutes. The chart would have that time. I don't necessarily have it by memory.
So how long were you at the scene total? Like,
If I had to estimate without looking at it, I would say approximately 20, 25 minutes.
okay.
It's
then you were
sped
the
up, guys.
driver of the
I'm
truck,
on
right? Is
1.5
that your
speed.
responsibility? So you drove in and then did you drive out as well?
Correct.
Okay. So if you guys arrived around 8:41 or something like that, then you left around 25 minutes later? Would that be accurate?
I guess when I was giving that estimate of like the 2025, I was even including like our dispatch time from the time we're dispatched driving to the scene. So if you're wanting to know actual on scene time, it might be closer instead of the 20 to 25, it might be more of a closer to 20 solid. Like,
20 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. And is that typical for a call?
it can vary depending on the calls.
Where is she going with this?
So what other things did you do in that 20 minutes?
I think she's trying to
besides administer
establish
to the
that
patient?
he could have
So
lived.
including in that time.
But I don't know how that makes a
while
difference because
we're
he did
staged in the
die.
corner,
So
waiting
it
for
doesn't
PD
matter
to
whether or not
arrive,
he could have
waiting for
lived.
PD to clear the scene.
He's dead.
For us to drive to the scene. There's the time with the patient, and then there's going to be the cleanup afterwards. Removing our equipment, going outside. Maybe the equipment needs to be cleaned, restocked, ready for another call. So when we drive away, we're ready to respond to another emergency.
Never
and
gonna
then drive
give
away.
you up.
Okay.
Never gonna let you down. I think
So
that's
when you were
still a little too
when you
slow.
were done with the patient and you were going through that procedure of cleaning, were you in the house or did you exit the house?
We'll remove all of our stuff and we'll go outside, typically to the front bumper of the fire truck.
And then what do you do?
We have cleaning chemicals on the truck that we could get out to clean our
He could have
equipment to
lived
reuse it. We've
longer
got
if she
cabinet
hadn't had him
restock
shot.
to be able
Yeah.
to restock anything that might need to be. So we'll take care of those things to be ready to respond to another call.
All right, let's see if we can understand it at 1.75. But I'm afraid we'll
And
catch
while you
up
were
to the
out front,
live
did you
feed.
see Alex on the curb?
And if we
I did
catch
see
up too
somebody on the
soon,
curb, or I
God,
don't remember he was
it'll
on the
be
curb standing,
awful.
but I remember seeing somebody with an officer or officers. I don't recall how many people might have been together.
Okay. And did you converse with those officers at all during that time?
I don't believe so. I don't really remember conversing with any officers.
See,
on
that's
scene.
too
That
fast
would
for
have been
me.
more Captain
My
Keller,
brain can't
charting,
catch up that
documenting, trying to get
fast. I
information
have to
from
go to
them.
1.5.
He would be able to answer that question.
Okay. So did you,
Robert, how dare you leave? You are one of the reasons that we're here today. You were sending super chats yesterday. Don't even try and pretend like you didn't.
was anybody?
How is it
in
fair that you
firefighting
get to
on your
leave?
team, the 4 of you that were there, was anyone asked to take a look at Alex?
Unbelievable cheek.
We were not.
Let's see. Have you spoken to the media about this case?
I don't object. Relevance.
What's the relevance?
What is the relevance, Your Honor?
Yeah.
Just to know how many times he's given testimony?
Your Honor, I'm
Right,
going
I'm gonna
to, maybe we can
hold on.
sidebar.
Yeah, I
Just
don't
to
wanna,
know what? Oh, sidebar.
All right, let's go on sidebar.
Okay, sidebar. We get to check off sidebar, and I get to fast forward through these stupid sidebars, which is great. Wait, I have to come over here. Forward. Wait. Where am I? What are we doing? Oh, he looks thrilled. Who's that woman? Who's she? Is she the court reporter? Oh, geez. Okay, we're going. I don't know what this is. This is some kind of court. Oh, here we go. We're back.
Mr. Cowden,
See, I'm afraid we're going to catch up to the live, and then we're going to have to listen
is it
to her
possible
regular
that
speed.
if there was a wound to the chest, that doing compressions on that could cause other damage?
I suppose it's possible, but ultimately it doesn't matter. If the heart isn't beating, it's what you got to do. It's the appropriate treatment.
So would a common person who doesn't know how to do CPR maybe hesitate about pushing on a bullet wound?
Objection, speculation.
She's the DJ for the music
But you
during
wouldn't.
sidebar.
Can you repeat the question?
You wouldn't
funny.
hesitate to push on the bullet wound if the heart was stopped?
No, I wouldn't.
And you would have to assess if the heart was stopped in order to do that?
Yes, you would check a pulse like we did. We would, use our equipment like we did.
Okay.
My hair is bothering
So the
me.
2 wounds that you saw when you first got there, one was in the chest and one was where?
In the abdomen,
On the right side or the left side?
I would be speculating as to how the specific spot or area without actually maybe seeing documentation.
Okay. And can you tell me about I think there's a word for it, but I'm sorry, I can't remember what it was. The crunch.
When doing the chest compression,
Correct.
I don't know if there was necessarily a certain word that I used, but you
Crunch.
feel the sternum crack.
Oh, God.
I compare it to, like I said
Oh,
before.
is she really trying to
cracking
say
your
this
knuckles.
guy killed him, not
And
the
how much pressure
gunshot
would you have to
wounds?
apply to get the crack?
Good Lord.
That could vary, like depending on who you're doing CPR on.
Like on an adult male?
I mean, it could still vary depending on, the strength of the person doing CPR also. It could vary depending on the size of that adult male also. So I've never seen like any science that might say you got to deliver this much pounds of force or anything.
Right,
So,
like 400 pounds of pressure or something?
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
know, right.
Okay.
You're just
So
going to
there
push
isn't-
hard.
Hold on.
Oops, sorry.
Can't have you talk over one another. So he finished his answer. Go ahead and answer the next question.
So there's no determined amount of pressure, correct?
Just hard
Yeah,
and
it was
fast.
definitely the
When it comes to
CPR that
people
killed him.
Doing CPR for us,
Eight
we're working
blocks.
as a team. We have equipment that can tell us if we're pushing hard enough. For a person without that equipment, just hard and fast.
Okay, that's fair. And then they don't always get the crack, right? It's not always going to happen.
If they're doing it forcefully enough, they would.
So if they didn't do it forcefully enough, it wouldn't.
That is possible, yes.
But then when you come in, the professionals, and you apply the correct amount of force, then you would hear the crack.
Yes,
And is that possible that that happened in this case?
it is possible.
Okay, no more questions.
All right.
What did you establish with any of that? Hard and fast phrasing.
Phrasing.
Does 911 have to regularly instruct people on how to perform CPR?
Yes.
I don't know if I can answer that since I don't do that since I'm not 911.
Have you regularly heard while listening to the radio 911 instructing people on how to do CPR?
We have had PTI information when we're responding to a call that will tell us that they are either performing CPR or being instructed to.
So you've seen in the past that 911 is prepared to handle individuals who may not know how to perform CPR.
Yes.
And that's to help try to keep the patient's blood moving while you're en route.
Correct.
You were asked a lot about trading off and other people doing compressions. At this scene with this patient, Charles Vallow, did you ever trade off and have someone else do the CPR compressions?
I hear hangry. We're about to get a hangry raid.
Yes.
Get my mouse ready.
Were you doing CPR while another paramedic or EMT was getting the heart monitor ready?
Yes.
So this timeline of however long it took them is in conjunction with you still performing CPR.
Yes.
We talked about Charles's shirt being cut. If photographs from the scene show his shirt still around his neck, would that indicate that it wasn't removed from him?
After the cutting?
Yeah, so if police, let me ask you this. When you guys are done and he's called deceased, do you put his clothing back on or modify him in any way?
No, we would just take our equipment that's necessary to take.
It really is shocking how lovely this woman's hair is.
Correct.
She's the only female lawyer I've ever seen who uses a hairbrush and has nicely trimmed hair. It's very shiny.
You were
She's
asked about whether or not you should perform CPR on a person who has a gunshot wound. Is there any reason why a person with a gunshot wound would not need to have blood circulating through their body to bring oxygen versus some other type of injury?
No.
Is the whole point of CPR to make sure that blood is circulating?
It also makes me think it's not bleached.
So that they don't go brain dead?
You don't often see blonde hair that color that doesn't look fried.
It wouldn't matter if you cause more injuries
I'm
because it's
thinking
brain
natural
dead.
blonde.
Who cares, right?
Correct.
I'd have to see her from the front though to know for sure.
In your assessment, did you feel that no one had performed CPR on Charles Vallow before you arrived?
I felt that, and I do know in my testimony.
I can usually tell
had
from
stated
people's
that,
facial,
or it's probably in my testimony that
from
it
the
was
way her her
not
eyebrows
efficient
are,
or something to those lines. But I felt like no, it had not.
Okay, you felt like no, it had not been done.
Correct.
Thank you. I have no other questions.
All right, I see at least
Does
one juror's
she have
question.
blonde
You can go on the
eyebrows?
Sidebar, please, if you're a juror and you have any additional questions,
can't tell.
pass down your question to the basket.
well, it might not be that bright naturally. I mean, she might have but I bet she has blonde hair because I don't think she uses bleach. If she used bleach on that, it would be ratty looking. It would be. I know women her age with naturally blonde hair that light. One of my best friends was born a white blonde, like so blonde. She was white. It was like white. And then as she got older, it darkened to a little bit of a golden color, but it's still very blonde and beautiful. And you don't get blonde hair like that without that shiny blonde without it being natural. I don't think I've ever seen natural. I've never seen shiny bleached blonde hair that moves like that. You can put stuff on it like oils to make it look shiny, but you won't get it to move like that. Yeah, she has great hair. Yeah, you can mark off good hair. Did you get your face mask? I really need one of those court reporter things so I can, at night when my husband wants to sleep and I'm in here and I want to stream, then I can like connect it to the microphone and I could just talk to you like this. No, and he can't hear. That would be great.
All right, so you're going to come on up here.
Does
Stand
the
up, you'll
hair
be
move
sworn in.
like Jagger? I feel a hangry raid coming on.
All right, you're going to come up this ramp over here and have a seat to my left.
I keep hearing him coming up and down the stairs, but he hasn't come in yet. Yeah, her hair does not look bleached to me.
Thank you. Sir, would you please introduce yourself to the
It
jury?
moves way too much.
My
It
name is Kent
moves
Keller.
well.
I'm a recently retired captain with Chandler Fire Department.
When did you retire?
April of 2022.
And how long did you work with the Chandler Fire Department?
32 years.
While you were there in, let's talk about 2019, what were your duties? What was your rank?
Oh God, we
My
should
rank was
slow this
captain.
down before we
I was
catch
an
up.
engine captain, so a company officer.
We're all
in
regretting
charge of
having
a
to watch this
4-person crew.
case. Of course, the
We
judge
basically
hates it.
respond for calls to service and the different functions of a.
Did those calls for service include medical calls?
Yes, ma'am.
Stop
Did you have any
harassing
training
counsel.
in the area of Some medical treatment yourself.
Yes, I'm a paramedic. I went to paramedic school in 1991.
And can you tell us, is there or was there ongoing type of continuing training to be a paramedic?
Yes, yes, ma'am. There's continuing education throughout the year. You have to have a certain number of hours in each subject, and as well as updates as far as pharmacology or different treatment modalities. So yes, there's constant change.
And the difference between a paramedic and an EMT?
Well, an EMT is EMT-B, EMT basic. A paramedic is an EMT paramedic. So the biggest difference would be invasive treatments. So you're trained with more ability to provide care, cardiology and pharmacology.
Roy says, looking at this
When
guy, I'm craving a
fire
bucket of
gets
original
call
recipe.
Of a person who
It does
is
look
shot,
like Colonel Sanders.
What is sort of the normal response? What does fire do when they
He
coming
needs
to a
one of
scene and
those
they know
little
a person has been shot?
little black
Well,
bow ties, the little string tie.
What they normally would do
That would be
is
funny.
you get the dispatch, you look on a map, you route yourself
Wouldn't
in.
you be pissed
Then you would,
if this
you
was
would
your case?
determine a safe place to stage while the scene is secured by PD.
And then how do you learn that the scene is secure?
In Chandler, anyway, we have interagency communication. So you're on the radio both with Phoenix Dispatch and Chandler PD direct car to car.
Kimmy,
or to
Kimmy
Chandler,
regrets her
PD
choices.
dispatch.
I regret your choices too, Kimmy.
So
we
you're
wouldn't
actually
be
then
here if it
told
wasn't for
by Chandler
you.
Police that it's secure and you can come in.
Yes, ma'am. They will give you a scene safe or code 4 and cop doc.
When you arrive on scene as the captain, what is your role when you get there?
My role is scene safety, primary scene safety. That's rule number 1 in everything that we do. And in other words, as I arrive on scene, I'm going to make sure with PD that there are no more threats for our crew and get direction to where we need to do treatment.
When you have this team of 4, how do you determine who does what?
Well, I mean, that's
You all deserve to be
individual
bored.
crew,
You voted for this. You
training, and
paid for
some
this.
crews might have specific jobs.
You paid
Ours
money
is
for
more of a
this
fill and flow
to sit
as
through
you come
this.
to-
Yes, you did.
I guess I should say one
So
person
let's
is
sit
charting.
here
One
with
person
me.
is going to be the paramedic in charge of the call. So he's running the call. His job is bigger picture. And then that'll leave 3 people for hands-on treatment until a 2-person rescue would arrive. An ambulance would arrive to help if that were the case.
Does fire ever respond to a scene and then advise that a person is deceased?
Certainly.
And if fire responds, determines a person is deceased, and this is potentially a crime scene, what does fire do at that point?
Ronan,
Fire
this
then
is so
would
funny.
pick up their gear and leave without disturbing that scene as much as possible. I mean, we have gear. We spread out our gear. When we get to a patient, we have monitors and drug boxes.
You're not
and
allowed to
trauma
leave,
treatment
Janice.
Boxes. So as soon as it's determined that
I've been forced
the
to be
patient's
here.
not
You do
viable,
too.
then you would pick up that gear and leave the scene. What you don't want to do is interfere with any investigation going forward.
And even when you are working on a person, are you trying to limit impacting the scene itself to the best of your ability?
Yes, our job would be to determine if treatment is necessary and then do that treatment regardless. But yes, what I should do, what the captain or whoever that paramedic should do that has the larger picture would be to try and minimize any disturbing of the scene.
But obviously, taking care of the patient is the primary focus, even if that causes the scene to be disturbed.
Yes, ma'am.
Were you working on July 11th of 2019 around 8:30 in the morning?
Yes.
And do you recall responding to a shooting at 5531 South 4 Peaks in Chandler?
Yes.
When you responded or first went to the scene, did you guys stage like we've discussed?
Yes, ma'am.
And you advised that you're being provided information from 2 different sources?
Yes, our primary source is Phoenix Dispatch. But yes, you are able to monitor Chandler PD as well.
Is Phoenix Dispatch 911?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you're getting what's coming in from 911. Are they relaying information to you?
Yes.
Are things like whether or not the patient is receiving CPR something that is very relevant to you?
Yes.
In this case, did you receive any information regarding that?
Yes. We were told that CPR instruction had been given and CPR was in progress.
Does 911, in your experience in over 30 years, are they able to provide instruction for lay people who may not know how to do 911 or not know how to do CPR compressions?
Yes, they are actually certified to do that. They train.
Oh God,
and,
we're going to talk about
are
CPR
certified to
again.
give that instruction over the
Is
phone.
this Planet
So,
Fitness?
even though it's only
Colonel
verbal, they've
Sanders?
been trained to how to present that to a person over the phone.
Yes.
So you are advised that
Colonel Sanders
CPR instructions have been given and that
for
CPR is
the
being, or
product
that
he was
compressions are being
hawking.
given? Yes.
Been a little while, but yes, I believe that I was told. I do know that instruction. I do remember specifically hearing that CPR in progress. I believe I remember. I would have to.
Nikki, it doesn't count.
Instructions were.
You have to get offended at something I
Does
say.
knowing that a person has been receiving CPR impact the way you view a patient?
When I say things like Lori Daybell is the Mormon cult lady,
it would make the patient
that's
more
when the
viable.
Mormons usually get
If,
offended.
adequate
And I won't
CPR were
believe you
given,
now. You're just joking.
Prior to our arrival, then you would hope that good CPR was given and that oxygenated blood was being pushed around the body, which would mean that make the
got
patient
our
more viable.
CPR certification yesterday.
When you go to a scene where you believe CPR is given,
Why does the prosecutor think this is important? Nobody thinks
Such
that
as
this
this
guy
one,
died because he didn't get proper CPR. Why
was
are we
that one of the things,
spending
I
so
guess, that
much
was
time
part
on
of
this?
your
I want to get
decision-making
to
as
the
you are
evidence.
assessing this patient?
Yes.
This is not evidence
Can you
that
talk
she
to us
killed
about
him
when you entered
or
this
had him
residence?
killed.
What do you recall?
When I entered the residence, I recall thinking that the house seemed empty, like it was either being moved into or moved out of. So there was no furniture or anything. We had a clear path to where the patient was. And I remember
Are
thinking
we
that
still
there's
nonchalant?
very
Or
little
have we
in
moved
this
on to
room other than
flippant?
the patient.
Did you notice at any point some items around the patient?
Cheryl, it's for
The
bingo.
only thing I remember being
I
around the
have
training,
to.
and some crews might have specific jobs. Ours is more of a fill and flow. As you come to, I guess I should say, one person is charting. One person is going to be the paramedic in charge of the call. So he's running the call. His job is bigger picture. And then that'll leave 3 people for hands-on treatment until a 2-person rescue would arrive. An ambulance would arrive to help if that were the case.
Does fire ever respond to a scene and then advise that a person is deceased?
Certainly.
And if fire responds, determines a person is deceased, and this is potentially a crime scene, what does fire do at that point?
Well, fire then would pick up their gear and leave without disturbing that scene as much as possible. I mean, we have gear. We spread out our gear when we get to a patient. You know, we have monitors and drug boxes and trauma treatment boxes. So as soon as it's determined that the patient is not viable, then you would pick up that gear and leave the scene. What you don't want to do is interfere with any investigation going forward.
And even when you are working on a person, are you trying to limit impacting the scene itself to the best of your ability?
Yes, our job would be to determine if
This
treatment is
guy's of a
necessary. and do
size
that
where I
treatment
imagine
regardless.
he impacts
But
everywhere he
yes,
goes.
What I should do, what the captain or whoever that paramedic should do that has the larger picture would be to try and minimize any disturbing of the scene.
But obviously, taking care of the patient is the primary focus, even if that causes the scene to be disturbed.
Yes, ma'am.
Not
Were you
yet.
working on July 11th of 2019 around 8:30 in the morning?
Yes.
And do you recall responding to a shooting at 5531 South 4 Peaks in Chandler?
Yes.
When you responded or first went to the scene, did you guys stage like we've discussed?
Yes, ma'am.
And you advised that you're being provided information from 2 different sources?
Yes, our primary source is Phoenix Dispatch. But yes, you are able to monitor Chandler PD as well.
Is Phoenix Dispatch 911?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you're getting what's coming in from 911. Are they relaying information to you?
Yes.
Are things like whether or not the patient is receiving CPR something that is very relevant to you?
Yes.
In this case, did you receive any information regarding that?
Yes. We were told that CPR instruction had been given and CPR was in progress.
We need
Does
a
911 in
Paul
your
Lind impression
experience,
for this
you know, with
trial.
their
Maybe that
30
would
years,
spice
are
it up.
they, able to provide instruction for lay people who may not know how to do 911 or not know how to do CPR compressions?
Yes, they are actually certified to do that. They train and are certified to give that instruction over the phone.
I would
So,
send
even though
Yamaha a
it's
link,
only
but I
verbal,
don't
they've
think
been trained
I
on
don't think
how
we
to
have each
present
other.
that to a person over the phone.
Yes.
So you are advised that CPR instructions have been
Why
given
follow
and that
you on
CPR is being,
Twitter?
or that compressions are being given?
What's your Twitter handle?
Yes.
Been a little while, but yes, I believe that I was told. I do know that instruction. I do remember specifically hearing that CPR in progress. I believe I remember. I would have to, but definitely the CPR instructions have been given.
Does knowing that a person has been receiving CPR impact the way you view a patient when you enter a scene?
Yes.
How?
Well, because it would make the patient more viable. If adequate CPR were given prior to our arrival, then you would hope that good CPR was given and that oxygenated blood was being pushed around the body, which would mean that make the patient more viable at that point.
When you go to a scene where you believe CPR is given, such as this one, was that one of the things, I guess, that was part of your decision-making as you are assessing this patient?
Yes.
Can you talk to us about when you entered this residence, what do you recall?
When I entered the residence, I recall thinking that the house seemed empty. Like it was
I'm
like being
taking a
moved into or
bathroom
moved out
break.
of. So there was no furniture or anything. We had a clear path to where the patient was. And I remember thinking that there's very little in this room other than the paper.
World, you're looking at his back?
Back, right, from the back of the head to the back of the feet.
Okay. So he's looking at his...
To the back of the feet.
Okay. So he's completely rolled over so that you can see his back.
Yes.
Did you notice anything about Mr. Vallow's back that may have indicated he'd been there for significantly longer than you originally thought?
He did have lividity. So there was modeling, skin modeling and lividity. Once the shirt comes off, then you could see modeling on the skin and lividity had begun to form.
Can you tell us what modeling means?
Modeling is sort of a patchy looking skin caused from hypoxia or not enough oxygen getting to the skin. I mean, you can have mottled skin for different reasons, but in this case, it would be from his heart not beating.
Okay. And then you said lividity. What does
Yes,
that
ma'am.
mean?
So lividity is the pooling of blood, and that takes longer, much longer. So the blood will begin to leave the tissues and gravity drain to the lowest part of the body.
So when the blood isn't being circulated by either CPR or the heart,
Mhm.
blood just starts to pool there.
Yes.
And so you noticed that as well when he was rolled?
Yes.
Did you notice any exit wounds?
I did notice at least one exit wound. Yes.
After you looked at his back, do you recall, I guess, when in this process you checked his heart monitor, when that was done?
I do not. This all happens simultaneously. You asked what these different people are doing. They're doing all of those things simultaneously. So the patient is exposed, CPR has begun, and the evaluation, the rest of the evaluation is happening. So timeline, it's on the heart monitor, I'm sure, but so a lot of it happens simultaneously. That answer the question. You asked that again. I'm sorry.
I believe so. Do you recall what the heart monitor results were?
Asystole. No electrical rhythm.
Did I miss anything?
Flatline.
Do
No.
you ever look at a patient's
Flatline. That's
Yes,
how I
always.
feel.
What's that for?
Completely
Because
flatlined.
It's just a brain function. If you shine light on pupils, they react. When the brain stops to function, hypoxia sets in. The pupils will dilate and remain fixed, so they won't change. They're non-reactive to light.
What did you see with Mr. Valla?
I'm in my
they were
velour
fixed and
tracksuit phase, by the way.
So we heard about the cooling.
I've decided
of the
this is
blood
the
on Mr.
stage of
Valla when
life
you
I'm
first
in.
arrived. As CPR was being done, did you notice any blood being pushed out of his body?
A little bit more. Again, he is on his back. Exit wound was in his back, but yes, we increased the amount of blood under the patient by doing CPR.
When you first arrived, did you notice any
How
active
dare
bleeding?
you,
No, ma'am.
sir?
What's
How
the
dare
relevance
you
of no
not
active
be
bleeding?
available
No
when I
heartbeat.
want you here to save me from this monotony? How dare you?
Were you advised of Scott Cowden's information about when he started CPR, hearing the crunch or feeling, I guess, the crunch of him performing CPR?
Was I advised of it?
Yeah, did he let you know that?
No, but that would be expected.
I think she is
And
going
is
to
that
try and
expected
claim
if
he
CPR
died
hadn't
from the
been performed?
crunch.
No, not adequately. Again, big guy. So
I would like a demonstrative of the
sternum will-
crunch.
the cartilage holding the sternum.
They
to the
should do it
ribs
on Lori.
breaks. It gives way. So, and that actually makes CPR much easier.
In this case, you came in, he wasn't breathing, he was pulseless, his pupils were dilated, the heart monitor said there was no activity, correct? When you looked at his back, you noticed both modeling, which meant that the blood wasn't moving through his body?
Yes, and modeling was on the front as well.
Okay.
So as that blood cools, so it leaves the tissue. That's gonna hasten the modeling part of it.
So you noticed that when the shirt was then cut,
Yes.
he was exposed,
Yes.
as well as when he was rolled.
Yes.
And then you
Oh
also
my
noticed on the
God.
back the lividity of the blood pooling there.
Super chats already.
When you, I guess, obtained all of that information,
Thank God.
did you
You're not going
end
to make it to
life-saving
50.
measures?
Yes.
There's no way.
Who decides to end
Not
life-
50
life-saving
at
measures?
5 and over. No way.
I do.
We will not have to do this
As well as the
tomorrow.
rest of the crew.
Thank
So
God.
Scott Cowden is also a paramedic, and he concurred So then we call that in and.
Alley Cat, if you're
cease-
slipping into a
we cease
coma,
life-saving function.
all of us are certified in CPR now.
When you
Don't
cease
worry,
life-saving
we'll-
measures at a
crunch.
scene where someone has been shot and is now deceased at the scene, do you leave sort of any attached medical devices?
Cause of
with them?
death, the crunch.
Well, as little as possible.
Pay no attention to the bullet holes.
So what would have been left on him would have been defibrillator pads, probably EKG electrodes, and probably a CPR puck.
Now, when you arrived on scene or when you were exiting, did you ever notice any male outside that might have been with some police officers?
Oh, a person?
Yeah.
Yes, one person, one male.
And did you notice him when you arrived or when you left?
Well, when I arrived, my job in particular is to kind of get a larger overview of the scene. So I did notice a person talking with PD.
And when you observed this person, did you notice anything that he appeared to be injured in any way?
No.
So no obvious injuries to you?
No.
If you had been asked to treat him, would you have?
Of course.
Did you see that same person outside when you left?
Yes.
JD fan, were the
And when you
Cheerios
left,
stuck
did
to
you
your
observe
face?
Anything about him again that he appeared to be injured in any way?
No.
JD fan fell asleep
Did you
in
ever
her
see
Cheerios.
a female and a
So-
female teenager at the scene?
Yes.
Where did you see them?
That's
They were across the
embarrassing.
street from.
That's
from the house we were at.
embarrassing, as they say.
Do you see that person in the courtroom today?
I see the adult. Yes.
Can you point her out and let us know what she's wearing?
Dark blazer at the defendant's table.
What's he looking around? What are we doing, sir?
Record to reflect the witness has identified the defendant.
Good job.
How far away is she?
Did you overhear her talking or saying anything?
He's funny.
I did overhear.
He moves quick for
her
a big
talking,
guy.
with the police officers or someone.
Skip for
said something
trucking,
about,
thanks to the two. Pretty sure we're all CPR instructors now.
Not
Yep.
getting invited to a pool party because of the commotion at the,
I
at the
hate
house or
this
something.
case.
Did you have any formal interaction with her?
No.
Did he fart?
When you sort of completed and left this scene, looking back and assessing it based upon your training, your experience, what you observed, and what was done to Mr. Vallow at the scene, would you agree that Charles Vallow was dead before you entered the house?
Yes.
Based
Spawn
upon your
raid.
training,
That
your
wasn't on the
experience,
bingo
what you observed,
card.
and what was
Sorry.
done to Mr. Vallow, would you agree that it was highly unlikely that anyone had performed CPR on Charles Vallow prior to fire arriving?
Yes.
I have no other questions, Your Honor.
All right, Cross.
All right, wait. Spawn is telling a story. I was going upstairs because I was doing a quest from this one, so I don't know if it wasn't on the bingo card because she literally asked me to come up. I don't know what the bingo
You were
card is.
first on the scene?
I don't know.
Police department was first, but
You
yes,
should.
we
I'm
were
always
first
on.
party.
I'm always
First
here.
fire on scene.
But the
Can you explain to
youngest,
us what staging is exactly? I'm not really
Hangry,
sure.
he,
Sure.
as I was walking up the stairs, he
Staging,
goes,
when
"You're
there's
very
some
beautiful."
violent incident,
And I was like,
fire
oh,
department, firefighters
okay.
don't
After he
have,
burned
protective
me
equipment
earlier
for-
asking if I'd ever had a
for
concussion.
that sort of scene.
And I said,
So
no.
you
He
will
goes, oh,
go
that makes
to,
sense because you had to have a brain
place
to have a
where
concussion.
Close to
So I
whatever
don't have a
the-
brain, but at least I'm pretty. Oh, that's funny. Brothers. Thank you, dear. Appreciate you. That Hangry is he's very sweet. Very, very sweet. And he does things like that. He tells his sisters how pretty they are, which is really cute. He tells me all the time too, Mom, you're so beautiful. Aw.
The dispatched address is that we would be a place of safety, but close so that as soon as the scene is made safe by the police department, then we would enter into the scene.
So that would be like a couple houses away, or
Could be a couple
Really?
houses, could be behind cover. In this case, it was a gunshot was the call. So you want to make sure that you are a little ways away,
You and me both,
in case there's
Kurt.
more gunshots.
right?
Tapping that like button
you
under
parked
duress.
somewhere on the street, but a couple houses down from the house. Is that correct?
I do not like
And then
this.
part of that staging is you stay there until you get the all clear.
Do
Yes,
not like
until
any
the
of
police department
this.
says that it's safe to enter the scene.
Okay. And you were wearing body cam that day?
No, we don't wear body
Oh,
cam.
you don't wear body cam. Okay. You were just on that was a picture from you on the body cam.
On the
Like someone
police
else's body
officers,
cam.
yes.
Okay. Do you use any instruments to obtain current body temperature? Do you guys have an instrument for that?
No.
Oh
No?
my God. Body temperature.
Would that help you give a more approximate
she
time
kidding?
of calling a time of death?
It wouldn't help me. I'm not trained to do that. So we don't have that. It's not within our scope of practice
Oh,
to determine
no.
that.
It's not part of paramedics training?
No.
Okay.
She really is trying to prove it was the CPR that killed him.
You explained the
No,
modeling.
Lori's hair
the
is not
patchy
as
looking skin
shiny and it
because
doesn't
of no
move as
oxygen to the skin.
nicely.
Is that correct?
Decreased, yes.
And so,
But curly
will that
hair is
continue
like
to
that.
increase? I don't really understand. Like it, Would you say modeling?
I don't know if her hair is
complete or
natural
in
waves
progress?
or
How
if
does that
those
work?
are sock
would say in
curls or what,
progress.
though.
As less and less tissue had oxygenation, I would say.
But
it
it's not
continues to
bad
model.
hair.
So would you
It's
say it was
just-
in early progress
it
or
should
late
be
progress?
tied
How
up
would
for
you,
court.
How would you estimate that?
I could not say early or late, just modeling.
That modeling was present
Yes, yes.
at that point. So how long would it take for modeling to become present? That's kind of my question.
I don't know how long.
So it could be like
different for different people, I
People.
suppose.
So it could be a minute, 5 minutes.
Hold on. Rephrase the question.
It's unfair to have a
Allow- but
bingo
make sure
card
You let him answer before you ask your next question.
when nothing happens.
So it could be just a
Make
few
a
minutes.
card
possibly?
with nothing happens.
Possibly. I don't know.
Okay. And then lividity, you explained
No
as a pooling
shit,
of blood. The
Flux.
blood leaves the tissues and
Thanks for pointing
goes
out
to
the
bottom.
obvious.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I
And you
hate
saw that
this
as well?
place.
Yes.
And
It's boring as fuck.
in your estimation,
But you guys
that had
paid
happened
for it. I don't
soon?
know why.
You know what I'm- well, that's
And
another
you
question.
appear to be doing it again.
In your estimation, that had begun?
Yes.
And was it advancing how far?
He had lividity on the back of his torso,
So does lividity,
back of his arms.
does lividity start immediately
I
after
have
the
to
heart
show
stops?
this
Is
to
that what you're saying?
Doug.
I suppose it does.
Taking a screenshot.
And if you were on any kind of medication, would that affect that as well?
I couldn't say.
Oh God, that's funny.
And what time of death did you document? You were making the document, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And what time of death did you document?
I did not put time of death, but I put a time of treatment being ceased, and I don't recall what that time was. It's on that report.
And you had stated that you were listening to dispatch on the radio, is that correct?
Yes.
So were you listening to the actual 911 operator speaking?
No, whoever's calling, if you call on the phone to a 911 operator, they would give that information to a dispatcher who would then dispatch a call with the pertinent information.
Okay, so you were getting kind of updates as it went along?
No, you get the initial call, and then
I
if it
tweeted
were
that out to
pertinent
him.
for us, like the scene is secure, PD says the scene is secure, go in, then we would get that.
Not
PD would
really.
then-
That
would
was not
call
really a
dispatch
judge
and
admonishment.
dispatch would
He
then
just
call
gave
us.
her a direction.
Okay, so were you aware all that?
Trust me,
um,
he'll
they had
admonish
asked
her
him to
though at some
come
point.
outside?
No.
Okay.
Ding dong, this
You
sucks.
just saw that he was outside, but you didn't know that
Does.
the 911 operator had told him to come outside, is that correct?
I did not know who he was or how he was involved in it.
Okay.
He arrived.
Oh,
So on
me
those dispatch
sighing,
updates,
we
it
already
wasn't saying,
checked
like,
off.
Shooter is
So
in-house or
maybe
shooter
you
is
missed
outside or
that.
anything like that. Okay, that wouldn't be.
Not to us.
I
That
should have
might be to
put
the police department.
yawning on
That's
the
not something
bingo
we would-
card.
We would hear.
Okay. In this case, Captain Keller, do you know for a fact that CPR had not been given?
I do not know for a fact.
And do you know for a fact that CPR had been given?
I know for a fact that we gave CPR.
Yeah, me
Prior
too,
to your-
Flux. I want to
prior
get
to
into
your
the
coming in.
real evidence. This is just torture.
No further
It's just
questions?
torture. Oh God, we're catching up to the live. Should I slow it down? We don't want to catch up to the live. Then we won't be able to go so fast. What am I at? 1.5? Let's go to 1.25. We cannot catch up. We'll get
Which do you
stuck
see first?
with a
Modeling or
lunch
lividity?
break. And then I'll have nothing to do but sit
When
here.
the heart stops and the blood is no longer pumping.
Modeling.
Okay.
I would expect to see modeling first.
Of course, if
And,
we do have to
you told
stop
us,
for lunch,
I
we can
think on
do
direct
other
that
fun
lividity
things.
is something that you see
Something
much later.
actually fun.
Yes.
Like listen to
I would expect that.
Yamaha's Paul Lind voice last night.
Have you treated patients before within a few minutes of their heart stopping?
Yes.
Do you
Better
see
slow
lividity
it
in those
to
people?
point
No.
Do you see
five.
modeling in those people?
Oh
You
God, you
see
want to hear
skin
how bad that
conditions
would be?
change in those people. Gray or cooling.
This is how this trial feels.
Moist.
Moist.
in
No,
moisture,
he did not
but
just.
not modeling or a little bit.
Moist moisture. What?
So,
Actually,
you're
this
not
is
here to tell us
this is much
how
funnier.
long it takes for those to form.
Oh, this is
Right.
much funnier. We
I
just
don't
figured out how to make
know.
this trial great again.
All you can tell us is that it's something that you see in patients who are deceased.
I'm
Yes.
deceased with that moist talk. I'm
Um,
dead.
and have been deceased long enough, whatever time period that is for that to happen.
Right, is an indication of the patient no longer being a viable patient.
I can't
And that
believe
was
I
one
put
of
that
the
down for that right when he
things that
said
you
moist.
Noted and used in determining to end any life-saving measures.
Yes.
Now, is the only way to know if CPR has been given to be there with the person watching them?
No.
I think I liked it better slower.
What else can tell you that CPR was given to a patient?
Well, PD on scene arriving would witness. The best way would be witness CPR.
That's the best way. Is there any other ways?
Well,
Valerie.
Yes. Again, you would have an indentation in the chest. The sternum would likely be have been cracked loose from the rib cage, and there would be, in the case of trauma, increased bleeding. You obviously you do
We have
CPR
to slow down. I'm not. I refuse to
CCR,
catch up.
Sometimes
Let's go to 0.75.
There's not trauma. There's cardiac.
Let's make everyone sound drunk.
In this case, were other indicators the blood that was pooling only at the neck and not spread out further?
Oh yeah, Megan cries from
The
laughing.
lack
Well, they're not.
of
There are not
pooling
actual tears yet.
underneath the victim.
Yes, and the mechanical action of decompressions with a gunshot wound right there would have spread.
Oh no, it's not spread,
blood
sir.
in
Don't say
in
spread.
That area as well. It wouldn't just have gone where gravity is.
I love him on 0.5 speed.
So where you saw is where you saw the blood pooling was where gravity, a low spot.
That was.
This is a real low spot of my day. I'll tell you that much.
Yes.
And you did not observe spread blood across his chest.
No.
Phrasing.
Would ongoing CPR, movement of the blood through the body have also limited?
I don't know why this is cracking me up, but it's entertaining me.
Perhaps.
Perhaps. Reminds me of college.
Ultimately, is it your opinion that it is unlikely that CPR was given to this patient prior to fire arriving?
Yes.
This is putting me to sleep.
Thank you. I have no other questions.
Ooh, what does Lori sound like on 0.5 speed?
Are there any juror
the
questions? I see at least one coming down.
The judge
Please
sounds like he has
pass
brain
those
damage.
down. Put on the white noise first.
Put on the white noise. Yes, we need white noise for sure. All right, so we have like what? A sidebar. Look at their look, he's drinking in slow motion too. Look at this. Look at that. Miss Reggie, we're slowing it down because I don't want to catch up to the live. If we catch up to the live, we're screwed. We can't go faster. So in order to avoid going too slow, we're slowing it way down. Does that make sense? And actually, this is far more entertaining in 0.5 speed. Oh, come on. This is a long one. Oh no, so we're going to catch up to the lunch break and then we're going to have to watch it in real speed. Oh no. Oh, come on. That moist thing was the funniest thing we've seen in 2 days. That was the
questions for.
Oh, here we go.
All right. We have some juror questions.
Juror questions. Okay. Oh, the judge doesn't sound great
Was
at this
there
speed.
any attempt to gain venous access to administer medications to aid the
Venus access? What is venous access? I don't like the way it sounds. I don't know what it is, but I don't like the way it sounds.
heart and functioning, i.e. ephedrine? If no, why not?
It's
Wait, let me get this straight. The jury is actually considering that it was the medical care he was given that was the cause of his death. Is that for real? Oh, he said intravenous. I thought he said Venus. Venus sounds like a strip club. What am I can't believe that there's a juror who's asking questions about the care, the 911 EMT care that he had on the scene after getting shot several times. Like, that's what I thought, Ronan. Access to shaving their legs? What? What now? She's got it. Yeah, baby, she's got it. I'm your Venus. I'm your fire.
It's not indicated for trauma. It doesn't. If the
I'm getting
if there's no
trauma
blood
from
to
watching
pump
this
or the heart
disaster.
has stopped pumping, increasing how fast the heart pumps with ephedrine would do nothing.
Liquid mama.
So
How
in trauma,
you can't say that on YouTube.
It is not indicated.
I can't.
Was ACLS protocol followed?
Sticky, you are not allowed to go
Yes.
anywhere. You have to take us with you. You have to suffer through this
Was
like
there a
everybody else. You
physician
paid for this yesterday.
Patched in.
You sent several super
No,
chats.
there's
You are
no
not excused.
patch required for cessation of treatment. It is part of our ability and part of our training to determine non-viability.
Are fire department personnel allowed to call a patient's death?
Yes. However, time of death is a different thing if that's what you're asking. In other words, we are allowed to stop attempting to do life-saving treatment if it's merely a recovery. So does that answer?
Well,
I
what
just
I'm gonna
want to
do is
let you
I'm gonna
know,
have
I
if
sent
the defense-
Rosalind.
First of all, let me check.
I sent Rosalind an invitation to come join me. You know what her excuse was? I just got into the bathtub at 3 p.m. I don't believe you. What? You sit on a throne of lies. I don't blame you because this shit is stupid.
Are there any other juror questions for this witness? I don't see any. The defense can follow up based on those questions if you want.
No, I'm too tired.
All right, how about the state?
Just a couple. Sir, when would you use ephedrine?
Thank you, Heather. Please do
Well,
not give any
if
more
you
super
had,
chats. I do not want to make this goal because I do not want to
Just
cover this
easily,
trial.
But it was a
Don't make me.
A cardiac-based code. If the heart had stopped due to some disease state,
I tried to tell you this
electric
yesterday.
shock,
No one
for
listened.
instance, you would use epi.
It's the worst excuse I've ever heard.
Are
I
you
just
saying
got into the bathtub.
epinephrine is what you're saying?
Who believes this?
If so,
It's
when you're
almost as
looking
bad
at
as
whether or
I'm
not to
washing
push
my
drugs
hair.
to try to get the heart to restart. You're looking at the type of trauma that caused the
Yes,
heart to
Tempest.
stop.
There's a bingo
how
card.
long
It's
it's
pinned
been
to the
since the
top of the
heart
chat.
stopped.
As promised
So
yesterday.
in a place where you said there is trauma, meaning like a gunshot wound.
We're all
hole in the
traumatized
vessel,
by how
yes.
boring this is. Making murder
so
boring, one
that is
trial at a
treated
time.
differently than if someone has a heart attack and
Yes.
you were asked about.
These are all algorithms, protocols that are given for us to
What do you mean the
to
pin
operate
disappeared?
on scene.
No, it didn't. It's still there.
Medical control to whoever asked about that.
Oh, look who's here. Are you splashing around in the tub?
I just got out of the bathtub. I'm sorry.
I don't believe you. You're not in the bathtub. Who takes a bath in the afternoon? What adult takes baths in the afternoon? You're lying. Just
It's what
admit it.
happens when you get old. You lose all, track of time.
You don't want to watch this trial, and I don't blame you. It's not like I blame you for lying to me, but I mean, you could just say, hell no.
I'm listening.
Yeah, I know. The chat wants to know, are you moist? Did you hear that guy say moist at 0.5 speed? Because it was so funny.
Moist.
Oh my God. So bad.
Yeah.
This is
bad.
never going to end, Rosalind.
I know this prosecutor doesn't need to ask all these questions.
I know, she's overdoing it. I don't.
Yeah.
Although now I'm concerned about the jury asking why something wasn't done intravenously. Like, what are you even talking about? He got shot. Like, what are you talking about?
But she's the one calling these witnesses, making them question that.
I know. Why is she calling all of these first responders? I don't get it. The first responder testimonies are always the most boring. None of it ever comes into play as to how the jury decides in a case. It's never about what the first responders say. Hardly ever.
Cell phone data and first responders are just so boring.
So boring. I want to get to there's friends who heard her say things and those people.
Yeah. I want the text messages.
Yeah, the text messages. When are we ever going to get to that? And look at this. We're catching up to the live and it's going to be on break. Look they're on break. Oh God. We only have, oh no. We're going to have to watch this at normal speed. Should we do what Tug would do and go back to the beginning? just go back to the beginning.
No.
Oh my God.
Tug.
Here's the good news. The chat is not going to hit the goal today. No way. No way. No way.
I would help you. I would help you do it, but I really feel like you're suffering, so I'm not going to do it.
No, please don't. I don't want to do this anymore. I didn't want to do it yesterday, and I really didn't think, because normally day streams don't get 50 super chats, but you guys just got mean and decided that you were going to make me do this. And it was like, what, are you kidding me? And we have an hour, less than an hour left to hit 50, and we're only at 18. It's not going to happen. You guys won't do it. Don't do it today. I'm serious. I don't want to do this tomorrow. I can't do it again. I
won't send a single super chat.
Not a single one. Please don't. Everybody save your money because it's not worth it. You don't want me to force you to sit through this again tomorrow. Don't do it. You've sent plenty of super chats. That's enough for the day. I should have only given them an hour. Why did I give them 2 hours to do this? That was bad.
All
right. If you send, I can't edit it. I can't. Oh God. Flux says she won't send a single super chat. She'll send a double one. Oh God, this trial is so bad. All right, let's continue.
And it's just, again, it's a flow chart. Are there obvious signs of death? Yes. Stop CPR.
So here, you followed that protocol and stopped CPR.
Yes, ma'am. CCR technically, but yes.
CCR. Now we have to learn what CCR is.
You were asked about contacting a physician, a patch or something for a cessation of treatment.
Right.
Are there times where you do patch in with a physician?
Sure. You would patch en route, not for a code. You would patch en route and give a doctor, or actually it would be a nurse answering the phone, but you would let them know what you have and what treatment you have given and what treatment you are going to give en route to their facility to continue care.
Sharon, day 10 hasn't happened yet.
Stabilize and
we mean, can we skip to day 10? This is live.
Making it more viable.
I'm just a few minutes behind.
So when you terminate treatment because a patient is not viable, you cannot revive them. You don't need to talk to a doctor about that.
No, you need to call in that you did it. So there would have been a patch after that, but you don't have to call in to.
I should be building Legos. I should be
doing
something
by a
productive.
doctor to stop life-saving treatment.
I'm about to start a watch paint dry stream to go on during the leaves.
So we are
Oh,
operating
that's a
under
great
doctor's
idea.
license at any time we are operating.
That'll probably be
So,
very popular.
That doctor or this group of
Put on a little
doctors
music, watch some paint dry.
understands our
I
training
literally
level
did that during the depth trial. We watched.
I know.
trains us to make that decision. Yes.
It was quite entertaining.
So ultimately, as a paramedic, you have the authority to use that protocol to determine when you are no longer able to revive or save the life of a patient.
Cease life-saving functions. Yes.
And that's what you did here.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I have no other questions.
All right, you can step down. We're going to take our
Oh, no.
lunch
Lunch.
recess.
We
I'll
did it.
remind
Lunch.
the jury of the admonition.
Oh no, not
We
lunch.
will
Is it
resume
Kentucky
at
Fried Chicken?
1:30 p.m.
Everybody wants chicken right now for some reason.
Oh God. You know what? You know what this means?
How you don't know how somebody would.
It means that we have more time to wait. An entire hour? Shit. All right. Here's what we're gonna do while we're waiting, because there is stuff to do. I don't think I hate that this is on Arizona time. Because
Right.
you know what I might actually do? Maybe because I have dinner to make and everything. And that's like in an hour is when I need to start making dinner. And then we've got the stream tonight on Tug's channel. So I'm not going to be able to finish this today, but that's okay because we can watch part 2 tomorrow before, we get started. That way I don't get caught up. That'll be perfect. That's great. That's a great idea. I love this idea. That's what we're doing. And, but in the meantime, I do want to pull up Shizzy's, show from last night because I want to laugh out loud at this, and I haven't gotten a chance to do that because I was trying to keep my laughs in last night so my poor sick husband could get a break and sleep and me not wake him up. But this is so funny. When Yamaha joined the stream, they were reading through. They found in the What the Hales case, somebody, actually, I think it was Bruce, the lawyer himself, had posted this crazy shit on Facebook about all his disciplinary issues. And
what?
Oh wait, is this the wrong one? Oh yeah, this
Why
is
would
the
he
wrong
do
one.
that?
I don't know, but he thinks, he's unintentionally funny. He thinks that he is showing everyone how wronged he is.
Oh,
but
right.
he hasn't been wronged. He's an idiot. And he thinks that, can we just enjoy Yamaha's music for a moment? Because I love the song that Shizzy plays for him. I think it's interesting how I don't have a song. I don't have a song.
I don't either.
I love this song. How come I don't have one? I don't understand why I don't have a theme song. I go on Shizzy's show. I never get a cool theme song and a cool video like this, ever.
He says you have to go on and read Sunday Spice in order to get a song.
Oh, really? Well, I can't go on that degenerate show.
I know.
Yamaha has the best song. I'm very jealous of it. I'm very jealous.
Me
I'm very
too.
jealous. Cool song. And by the way, you should go and subscribe to Yamaha Biker's channel called I Have a Story, because he has a great voice and he reads stories.
What's going on, everybody? When you talk to me like that, it was reminding me of Megan and Tug's stream a bit ago. I think her husband should be sick more often.
Yeah,
I was almost there a couple of times. Whoa.
I mean,
Men are so gross. Skip past this.
Yes.
I'm sure if we were doing a letter tonight or not. I wasn't sure.
Because I was putting this
He
thing
really does
together.
have an epic voice. This man
yeah.
has some serious talent. So they start reading this crap that Bruce actually posted about himself. And I don't think he knows how unintentionally funny it is, because we're learning so much more about Bruce Manskin, the attorney for the Prestons in the Hales case. We're learning so much about him. And we're learning that he has been disciplined before, and he does the same thing every time he gets in trouble. He complains and whines, and he acts like he's being persecuted, like in the worst way possible. Like you can't believe the whining that goes on. But anyway, they start reading, and they get down to about here. They're reading his emails, because these are exhibits in the disciplinary action that Connecticut took against him several years ago, or that they're still in the process. I don't know. It's kind of convoluted. I'm not sure. But Yamaha decided to use a super flamboyant Paul Lind voice, and I about lost it.
Bitching and moaning. Dear Mr. Boulder, Mr. Staines, Mr. Butler, you all know this grievance was dismissible. It had to be dismissible under the summary dismissal. And you all know Mr. Butler is literally making up language to change the meaning of a rule to support a charge he invented that was not part of the grievance, and in fact in which the PC panel explicitly said it was not issuing PC. It accepted my position. No cost. Mr. Butler's prosecution for a charge just address what possible logic is there for a rule requiring a fee agreement to state there would not be any cost, none, and that's why the rule doesn't say or require that, not without adding the language Mr. Butler did, putting aside all the other questions about your officer's decision to pursue this against me.
And by the way, for those of you who don't know what this grievance is about, it's literally that this lawyer put some language in his contract that wasn't correct about fees. It was a minor mistake. The bar asked him to take something like a 6-hour continuing education course, and he refused to do it. And instead, he decided to wage war against the bar and accuse them of persecuting him. It's crazy.
Does AC/DC, great band, have the authority to add words that change the meaning of the rule? Oh, I'm going to put this in red highlight because it's so important. And it's
the color coding is just like David Gingras, by the way. Remember when David Gingras did color coding in his motions to the court?
I know.
Only crazy people do this. Only crazy people do. You know that you're dealing with a crazy person when you see them, a lawyer, when you see them using different colors. And again, here's another thing we discovered. Bruce Manskin is always accusing people of anti-Semitism. He's Jewish. That's what he says. And here he is sending a letter several years ago to the bar about the Christmas that he had. I'm not kidding, Rosalind. Christmas.
What on earth?
This is a Laura Owens move. Remember when Laura Owens accused Clayton Echard of anti-Semitism? Then she was photographed in her Christmas sweaters. I think so. I think we discovered last night that Bruce is the male version of Laura Owens. I think that's what we discovered last night.
Could get pregnant.
If only he could get pregnant. That's right. Because the vibe of all of these letters are, I'm having the babies if you don't write me back. Having the babies.
Right.
I hope both you had a nice Xmas and enjoyed your family time. Oh, I hope you both. God, I am cross-eyed tonight. Mine was less joyful. Given the upsetting continuing threat Doug is posing to my clean professional record, the impact it has already had on my practice and my life, and what's portended from his actions and statements, especially his indications that he'll formulate new, yet to be thought of charges. In case you've lost perspective, what you do is serious. Your actions have a major impact on the lives of lawyers who are trying to run their practice, earn a living, support their families, even when they've done nothing to warrant the charge or the prosecution. I know that you know this is nonsense. What I don't know is why you are doing this.
Yeah, right.
This is my livelihood, my life. It's I'm starting to cry. It's inexplicable that you would think I'd stand by while you try to harm me. rather than challenge your actions when they are so glaringly abusive and in excess of any authority or rational basis. As ever, I invite you to disabuse me of anything below and anything below and red that's incorrect, or I will offer them as admissions. And as ever, I invite you to call me on the phone. I even invite you to record the call, and even call me when I'm in Armenia. Doug repeatedly misinformed me in writing that there is no procedure for him to ask for dismissal based on no evidence of any rule violation. He may do so under 11A, A1. Doug repeatedly misinformed me in writing that regardless of any disposition agreed to or otherwise,
Oh, it's
including
about to go off
dismissal
the
with
rails.
condition, there is
Just
no way to
wait.
avoid traveling for the live SGC hearing.
Yes.
This was in response to me complaining of having to waste a day and risk travel.
But would it be wasting a day?
Travel?
I'm serious. Would it be wasting a day and risking travel? I
To do
mean,
your job?
yeah, he's color coding again. Yes, yes, Megan, he color codes quite a bit. It's whenever he breaks out the rainbow flag, he just has to whip them colors all into place.
Yeah. See me, hear me. Maybe I should just read it like that. In fact, I may seek to attend by remote video. Number 3. 3 snaps up in a twist. Doug on December 16th requested a copy of my contingency fee agreement for CT clients in order, as he put it, to determine what, if any, disciplinary is necessary. Discipline, whatever. Spanked me with a leather whip. Thereafter, he did not base any determination of, I'm just going with it, I don't care anymore, of a charge on what I provided in response to his request. The charges he conjured up has nothing to do with the sample I provided. When what I provided would not support a charge.
I'm telling you, Yamaha, you could have an entire career doing voiceovers.
Absolutely.
For cartoons. He has so many voices. It's incredible.
It really is. And just pulls them out. Like, doesn't even have to give it a minute to get it going. Like,
I know, it just
so
just rolls right off there. I mean, Kimmy says it's even just as funny today. I would venture to say it's funnier every time I listen to it. I've listened to this 3 times since then. I have listened to it 3 times and I cannot stop laughing. I love this voice. And now I picture Bruce as a flamboyant piano player.
He invented one based on the Jones fee agreement. Further to number 3, using formal logic based on Doug's statement. Premise number 1. Doug's words. He whispered in my ear. A copy of fee agreements is needed to determine what, if any, disciplinary necessary. Whatever. Premise number 2. Implicit from premise 1. The agreement at issue in a grievance does not lead to a determination that discipline is necessary. Oh, spare the rod, spoil the child. Otherwise, Doug wouldn't have requested one under Rule 8.1, according to his own words. Stop it, I'm trying to sell this. To determine. Premise number 3. The sample fee agreements provided have no basis for a charge in violation. Implicit as demonstrated by the fact that you did not base a charge on them. Conclusion. Therefore, neither the fee agreement underlying the grievance or the one you sent in response to my Rule 8.1 request supports and my 8.1 is bigger, supports a charge of discipline.
Oh my God. Bruce does not know how unintentionally funny he is. Like, if you hadn't written, there's no way you could make just a boring letter this funny just by using a silly voice. That wouldn't work. the fact that when you put this voice together with what's in this letter, it's so perfect. It's such a perfect match for what the energy that it's giving. This constant complaining, this over dramatic, whiny. This is just the funniest thing I have. It was off the rails last night, Kelly. Off the rails. Well, Yamaha, you were led in the right direction because you nailed it. Like, this is the voice that I will always think of now when I hear these whiny letters.
So
Because
good.
this man never stops complaining about how wronged he is. Everybody wrongs Bruce. It's never Bruce's fault. It's never the fact that Bruce wrote something like 40 harassing emails to the grievance committee. That has nothing to do with how he's being treated according to him. And he doesn't understand why YouTubers didn't want to have him on when he was sending us harassing and threatening emails every damn day. Like, I'm sorry, sir, but when someone does that to me, I don't want to have anything to do with you. Like, no. No. But it's our fault for not having him on. Suddenly we are the ones who are unfair. We are the ones who are
it's like getting trapped. It's like getting trapped at the tanning salon when they're trying to sell you like the year membership and they won't go away.
Yes.
Like, can I just tan? I just want to tan. I just want to just leave me alone.
Or the people who call you to talk about your car's extended warranty.
Oh.
Every time, like, this is who he is. And when I told you, and some people are like, that said I'm being over dramatic because I said he was harassing me. Now you know it's his MO. He does it to everyone. These are the kinds of harassing emails that he sends to everyone, and there is a record of it. There is a history, a years-long history of this attorney harassing and breaking the rules of ethics and being called to the carpet about it and fleeing. Look at the pause face on Shizzy right now. This is so great. Look at the pause face. Can you see it, Roz? Look at him.
Oh, wait a minute. No, it's not. Oh, there's an 11. From this, the only course is a Rule 11A. A1. Well, that's even bigger. Motion filed by Doug. Yet his actions defy the conclusion of the above syllogism. Doug's how long does this rambling go on? I'm making myself faint. Doug's purported charges based on him first adding the words "or not" to change the rule's meaning, then trying to erase his acknowledgement that the rule has written does not require me to mention I'm not even understanding what the hell I'm reading. His cost. His first letter will, of course, be an exhibit. Doug objects to the SGC being told a difference. Objects. Yes. His objects. whether or not through professional expert grammar articles. You don't know shit about grammar. So apparently his strategy is to A, add to the words to the rule, or at least pretend. B, argue that whether or not means the same thing. What is? Oh, wrong one. Oh, and C, object to evidence of proper grammar. That's the type of frivolous legal argument lawyers are sanctioned for making in court.
He would know about frivolous things.
I will have a high school English teacher as a witness.
What?
Oh my!
Oh my God!
Are you fucking kidding me?
I will have a high school English teacher as a witness. No, stop. Stop this, Bruce. No one does this. No one does this. And he put this out there that you guys, no one dug this up. Literally, Bruce, this lawyer, posted this entire thing on Facebook for the public to read. And he had no clue that we were just going to laugh at it. Okay, so if you want to watch the rest of this video, and you really should watch the whole thing because it is so funny. I am dropping it in the chat. Oh, hell, I didn't mean to do that. I'm dropping the link in the chat, and you should go. And if you're not subscribed to Shizzy, definitely do that and go to Yamaha's channel, which is I Have a Story Mods. If you could drop the link to his channel in there, it would be great. And I'm going to get to super chats and move on with my day because I have other things to do. And then we'll do it. You didn't hit the goal. So we are not going to watch Lori Vallow tomorrow. We may never watch Lori Vallow again. I will make you this promise, though. If something good happens and someone tells me about it, if you let me know that something great and hilarious happened, we will watch it. But not until that happens, because, oh my God, it's awful. I think I lost Rosalind. Are you still here? I think we lost her. All right. Well, when you let me know. Oh, I'm fuzzy because the light's not bright enough. I turn the light down and then it looks fuzzy. All right, hold on. Turn it up. There we go. All right. The Silver Leaf says, I think this will get better. No, it won't. If it does, though, let me know. Oh, we already did we did these. Okay, wait. We got that one. If you don't, thanks again, Sonny or Chris for the 100. I appreciate that. That made it all worth it. Slug, thanks for the 2. Cover the case. Justice for Slug. I don't know why you want to torture me, Slug. It's not fair. I don't know why you like to see me in pain. I think, abusing elderly people is a crime. Elder abuse. Caroline B, thanks for the 5. How is Mr. Fox? Still bad. He's really bad. Probably, he thinks it's a sinus infection, but the doctors at the urgent care said no, they didn't think so. So now they didn't give him anything. And so he's still feeling terrible. I hate it when they do that. Why don't they just try? Men don't go to the doctor very often. So when they go, you should just throw all the antibiotics at them that they could possibly need. Because getting him to go back is going to be like hell. Sticky Widget, thanks for the 5. This case is just misunderstood. It needs a chance to prove itself. It's the little case that could. Well, it better could faster, is all I have to say. The Silverleaf, thanks for the 5. Square bullet point. I do not appreciate that. I don't. Something is so wrong with what? What is that word? My iPad. So trying this again. It keeps doing what it wants, but hopefully this one comes as a $5. Yes, I got the $5, but boy, that the typing really is a problem. Sonny or Chris, thanks for the 5. I have no idea what this is about. This is payback for hair talk. LOL. Sonny or Chris, thanks for the 5. I've been a paramedic for the last 10 years. There's only one song I hear while doing CPR. Another one bites the dust. Oh no, that's terrible. Sonny or Chris, thanks for the 5. Staying alive is what I say in the outside voice, but the voice in my head on the other hand. Caroline B, thanks for the 5. It's too crazy to have calm first responders for her. Or she's getting at these didn't move fast enough. Yeah, I think she's trying to say it was the CPR, the emergency workers killed him, not the multiple bullets. Yeah. Sonny or Chris, thanks for the 5. The goal for the song is 100 BPP. Anything that will hit that speed will work. And Chris again, 911 operators have a script for almost every medical emergency to walk callers through the steps to respond. Do they ever walk them through a tracheotomy with a pen? I've always wondered if, I've heard people do this. Knighting gifts. You know who did that on the roadway one time in Florida? I think it was, what's his name? Is he a senator? Yeah, Senator Rand Paul. He performed an emergency tracheotomy on somebody on the highway who was in a car accident. I think he used a pen. And he's like an eye doctor or something, but he was, they have that first aid training or whatever. Hair envy for a lawyer. I never thought I'd see the day, Megan. Gorgeous Curls Fox. Well, she's got great hair. It's like shiny and blonde. It's pretty. Ian Thomas, thanks for the 2. This definitely wasn't on my KFC bucket list. Skiffer Trucking, thanks for the 2. Pretty sure we're all CPR instructors now. Chris Rowland, thanks for the 5. Since it's an International Feng Shui Awareness Day, wonder if she will question the organization flow of the room while they perform CPR. Smash the like. That would have been one of the really good stupid questions, that's for sure. Carrie B, the Perry Panda. Megan, check the Bird app messages. Oh, okay. All right, hold on. Let me check where am I at? Ah, there you are, Carrie. Oh, this is funny. All right, here. Let me pull this up. My niece asked me, why is his body so little? And now I can never unsee it. It does look like arms and legs. Oh, no. It does. Sonny or Chris, thanks for the 5. A juror has worked medical somewhere, hospital or something, not first response. Yeah, sounds like a nurse or a doctor or something. Tammy Morgan, thanks for the $10 super sticker. I appreciate you. Fletcher Boy, thanks for the 5. Where did you get the Greenbrier Distillery shirt you had on yesterday? Were you in Nashville and didn't tell us? No, but Mr. Fox was. That's where he was traveling to. He was in Nashville, so he brought me some stuff. And one was that t-shirt or sweatshirt. White Rabbit Ann, thanks for the Canadian 5. Jeff made me do this. Oh, God. Slug Entertainment, thanks for the 2. Hashtag more elder abuse 2025. You need a spanking with a paddle. Sonny or Chris, thanks for the 5. We don't just throw antibiotics at stuff. This is how we get super bugs. Well, yeah, but here's the thing. People like my husband don't take them very often at all. And if he's this sick, I'm pretty sure it's a sinus infection that requires antibiotics. And he doesn't take pills very often. Not at all. But when you're that sick, and I don't know how I wish there was a test. Why can't they swab your nose and tell if it's bacteria or viral? I don't understand why they can't tell. And so instead, they just send you home to suffer. They should have given him at the very least, they should have given him like prednisone or something to bring the inflammation down. But that didn't happen. Who's here? Is that Hangry?
Just me.
Oh, it's Mr. Fox. I was just talking about you. How are you? Terrible. I know. All right. Well, I'm getting ready to get out of here. So where can I send you? Should I send you somewhere? Let's see. Who's streaming? Is anybody streaming anything good? Let's see who's here. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I think. Oh, I thought Danny was live right now. I was going to send you over to her because she's covering this case, but she isn't doing it until later. So we'll send you to Mo instead. Mo is doing the Petty Express of Michigan versus Linda Sterner. You know what? I started watching that trial today. I have no idea what it's about, but I'm interested in it. So maybe you will be interested in it too. So go over there and have fun with Mo. Please tell her that I said hello and I hope she's doing well. Thanks for tuning in today. And thank God we didn't hit that super chat goal. I will not be doing this tomorrow unless something crazy happens, like she gets shocked in court and we have to see that. So keep me updated if anything happens. Okay, see ya. Be on Tug's channel tonight at 8.